Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you are enjoying the content, enjoying the streams, and of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Trades Discord channel, completely free to join. You can find the link to that in the description below. Also, at the top of the chat, you can find more information about Elevating Traders. You can also chat with other traders there as well, including myself. I share ideas there, so do other people. So if you are interested, check out what people are looking to trade. Of course, you can share what you're looking to trade there as well. Make sure you go check out the link to the description, which is located in the link to the description. The link to the Discord, which is located in the description and also at the top of the chat. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Ahmed, good morning. FX Wolf, good morning. Hope you're well. As always, guys, we'll go through USD pairs first. Take a look at what is happening in the world of the dollar. We'll go through USD majors, gold, silver. Take a look at some indices as well. If there's any specific pairs you guys are looking at, let us know. Of course, any specific timeframes as well, because of course I'm going to look at the 4 hour mostly, but I will occasionally drop to the hourly and the daily charts. But if you guys are a bit more intraday, let me know, and I will take a look as well. But at the moment, DXY, I had a bit of a move to the downside. Yeah, we were a little bit bullish on stream yesterday, but price did find some resistance and had a bit of a reaction. Altogether, I have to say price action is very choppy for the DXY. We pushed up. I said there's a couple of areas where we might see some downside from this area and this area here as well. So as you can see, brief pause in the market, big drop to the downside. Of course, support there as well, big drop to the downside. So naturally, those are areas where we could see sellers looking to get back into the market and see some reactions. And this first area, we did see a bit of a move there as well. So nice move to the downside there for the dollar. Haven't quite come back to these lows. That's why I was looking for price to come into yesterday. I said either one of these areas could send us back into the lows and then potentially these lows down here as well. I haven't quite seen that yet. We still could, but things are definitely looking very choppy at the moment. So I think with the dollar, I mean, I'm not really looking to trade many USD pairs at the moment, apart from dollar CAD. Dollar CAD I do like to the downside. We'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, DXY overall is very, very choppy. We're neither taking out lows and we're neither taking out highs right now. That prior high was respected. This low so far is being respected as well. So we really need to see price start breaking through these lows or these highs to give us a bit more clarity in terms of direction. If we stay within this range, we could consolidate and price action could get quite choppy. And to be fair, it kind of is already choppy, but I'm still looking for a push to this low here. It might be a situation when price has another move to the upside first before coming back down. So that's kind of what I'm still looking for the dollar. So overall, still looking for a bit more weakness. But in terms of the long-term move, since we are still respecting this low, I'm still overall bullish, but I'm a bit more relaxed in that bias. It's not more as confident as I was last week or the week before. Of course, when we had that clear uptrend with those higher highs and higher lows, things look very clear. Clear trend, clear momentum, clear highs being taken out. However, now that's not the reality as much anymore. So with the DXY, I'm kind of just waiting for some momentum from somewhere. Like I said, whether we're breaking through lows or breaking through highs, not really too bothered as a trader at the end of the day. We're just looking for a good opportunity, whether it's buying or selling isn't really our concern, really. So in terms of the dollar, still looking for a move back to these lows here. Longer term moves still bullish, but definitely not as confident as I was last week or the week before when we had a bit more clarity in terms of the trend. In terms of Euro USD, is pretty much the same thing as well. Price is very choppy as well with this one. I was favoring move to the upside yesterday, and we did see some of that as well. I said I'm looking for a push back to 1.043. Haven't quite got there yet, but yeah, things are still looking quite choppy. Failing at the high is not a great sign. Again, price may want to push down first before seeing that move. But still, things look very, very choppy with Euro USD as well. We came back into this consolidation here looks like price is really struggling to break through that area, which could indeed give us a pretty big sell. We still do have those lower highs intact, and this could be another one. If that's the case, that might take us back down to that low, but nothing's really clear right now. That's the main thing I'm getting at with the USD pairs. It's not clear cut. Of course, you can speculate in terms of direction. I think price might do this, price might do that, but there will be times where things are looking very, very good and things are looking very clear, and there's a high probability that something might happen. And those are the times you want to be looking to place your trades. And there'll be times where things are looking a little bit more unclear. And that's the time you want to kind of park the brakes and take a back seat and wait for the market to become clear before you do start placing on trades. So really, with Euro USD, things are getting quite choppy right now. We had some really nice bearish trends not long ago, but things are getting a little bit choppy now. So kind of just waiting for more information, more momentum, really, either breaking through highs or breaking through lows. That's really what I'm looking for Euro USD to do, because once we do that, clarity, the market will become a lot clearer, and I can start to probably predict a bit more of a trend. But right now, we're very flat, and we're kind of just in the middle of this kind of range here. So worst place to be. You want to be down at the low or up at the high. You can use that to your advantage a lot more than when you're right in the middle. So yeah, price action not really great. Like I said, still looking for a push to the upside. So that's kind of still the play I'm looking at, but nothing I'm looking to trade personally, and it's not really looking that great in terms of confluence either. So personally, I would stay away from Euro USD. Pound USD, similar situation as well. There was a short opportunity for me earlier in the week, well, yesterday, off the retest that high. I decided to stay out of the market. So the entry signal came with that 4-hour candle closure there on that double top, basically respecting that price support turn resistance. So the plan was looking to short that high for potentially a big swing to the low. Of course, I'll be looking to trail stops and locking gains along the way. But the risk reward did look good for that position, but I decided to stay away because I'm not a big fan of how he got back to the level for the double top. Normally, when price is giving me double top patterns, I want to see price create the high, then slowly pull back into the double top, and then I'll look for my opportunities. Those typically have a pretty good win rate in terms of at least giving you a reaction at that high. Of course, whether price completely drops, that's a different question. But in terms of a good reaction, the corrective pullbacks are really good to look for. When we have impulsive, it can be a sign that price wants to continue higher. So those I tend to stay away from. That's kind of what we got here with pound USD. Nice respect of that level, bit of consolidation, strong drop to downside, of course, with the gap. Then price recovered that very aggressively. And although it was a really nice rejection with the wicks and the candle closure, I wasn't really convinced, so I decided to stay out of the market there for pound USD. Hasn't really gone too far, in fairness, since that entry signal. If you entered here, price is right here. Of course, it did have a lovely drop. We did have the Bank of England interest rates, which pound was looking pretty bearish from. But again, USD is the main driving force for this one. Although we were expecting to see a weak pound, it's going to have to be a very, very weak pound for us to really kind of plummet, because USD is the main governing force. If USD is going to be strong, pound USD will fall. If USD is going to be weak, pound USD will rise. But in terms of opportunities now with pound, again, I'm not really seeing much clarity in that either. Maybe if we can respect the high here, there might be a nice sell potentially to take us back down again, back into the lows. Bit more of an intraday setup as we come back and retest the levels here. But again, nothing kind of clear cut. So personally, I'm staying away from pound USD as well. I think if you are looking to trade it intraday, it makes a bit more sense. But swing, I'll kind of just wait for things to develop and find better opportunities later on. In terms of dollar CAD, like I said, this is actually one pair I do like for dollar. Still within the range, so I still need to see price break out if we want to look for the break and retest of the low. Because again, still looking at this as a massive fake out, especially considering the level which we got to for dollar CAD, which was back at major resistance, which is this level here. As you can see, massive rejection once, big push to the downside, second rejection there, big move to the downside, and you can see we're there for a third time. So potentially we could see a massive move to the downside, but I'm not necessarily looking for something like that. All I'm looking to see is I can catch the reaction. there's a big level of resistance just below us, which is going to be acting as support. I wonder, can we see a move back to that area? I think that's pretty reasonable. There's two ways I'm looking to play this. One's a bit more aggressive, one's a bit more conservative. The more conservative trade will be waiting for price to break to the downside to confirm to us, okay, momentum is truly with the bears because we're breaking through really, really strong support. So waiting for the break of that support level, then pullbacks and so on and so forth, expecting the push back down to that weekly zone we just mapped out. Or the slightly more aggressive trade is waiting for price to push back to the high of the range and then looking for your shorts up there and seeing if you can catch the bigger move from there. Of course, it's a bit more aggressive because number one, we're still respecting support. Number two, we're still trapped in the range. And number three, you could catch a nice move, but price may just bounce at the support again and go against you. So you have to manage that trade accordingly. You can take some profits, go to break even or trail stops, up to you, but it's a little bit more aggressive because we're still within the range, whereas this has shown signs of breaking out the range. So pullbacks and continuations are a little bit more likely. But I still like dollar CAD because I'm trying to use this massive fake out to my advantage, knowing that a lot of traders will be shorting this, as they're expecting a top to form for dollar CAD. And of course, with the gap for this week, that would have flushed a lot of positions out. So I'm kind of looking to see if we can use that liquidity to fund the move to the downside, but not quite there yet. So keep a close eye on Aussie dollar, USD CAD, sorry. Moving on to Aussie dollar. This one, again, not looking too great either. I'm still looking at this as a range. We took out highs over there. We took out lows over here. So again, not really getting much direction here for Aussie dollar. Is price trying to create higher highs and higher lows or lower lows and lower highs? It's undecided, really. So as I said yesterday for Aussie dollar, if this is going to be a bit of a bottom, because again, we have been trending to the downside for quite a while. So this could be the bottom for Aussie dollar. I also like the price action on the daily chart. Really strong daily candle there after that big wick to the downside. So it looks like price is trying to form a bit of a low. So if that's the case, I want price to break the high again. They're showing that, okay, we're back bullish again because we're taking out highs. And then I'll be looking for the next high low afterwards to take to the upside and so on and so forth. And there'll probably be some sales later on as we come back to some areas on the left. But for now, there could be some nice buys if this is the low. But I do need to see that higher high be created first. Then I'll start looking for some higher lows shortly afterwards. But at the moment, of course, we're not doing that. And the way I see it, price right now is just within a range. So yeah, just not really interested much with price action in here because overall there's no real direction or real momentum to it. So yeah, very, very much just waiting to see what happens with Aussie dollar. Then hopefully there'll be some opportunities once we do get a breakout. Same situation with New Zealand dollar, ranging as well. We took out highs there, took out lows down here as well. So overall, there is no real direction to the market, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing when we've been trending to the downside for a very, very long time. This could be price forming a bit of a bottom. It could just be a bit of a pause before price continues. That could be the situation as well. We'll find out once we get the breakout. But if this is going to be a bit of a bottom, then again, I want to see price take out highs, then look for the pullback, and then more upside. And then this becomes a really nice trade opportunity. But as we stay within the range, things are just very awkward. Not really looking to do too much here. And just really looking to kind of stay away from price for New Zealand dollar. So yeah, not really much to report on. Intraday, I'll kind of stay away as well. I did talk about some buys yesterday, which kind of come through, but again, nothing really meaningful there for New Zealand dollar. In terms of gold, I think we had a bit of a reaction yesterday, a bit of a drop, yeah, a bit of a spike there, but it has followed through to the upside pretty well. Haven't created new highs yet, but looks like we're about to push into resistance there. So we'll see what price does. In terms of long opportunities, I did speak about this brief range here, which looks like it held pretty well. And if you're probably looking to get long again, I would either wait for price to break highs and pull back or pull back into that same area. So if we do have another drop into that level, that could be a nice place to long, trying to catch the next higher low in this sequence. And of course, targets back at the high, so on and so forth. Or if we just go and break the high, then look for the next kind of wave afterwards. Either way, still looking to ride momentum for gold. Again, that bigger pullback is going to happen at some point. but we haven't been breaking through support yet. Still respecting higher highs and higher lows, so I still remain pretty bullish here with gold. I still do expect higher highs. And in terms of silver, silver's actually one that I'm really liking. Didn't quite test the level I was mentioning yesterday, unfortunately. Just missed it. As you can see, that you just missed it by the smallest proportions, but it still looks like a really good opportunity. In fact, it looks a little bit better now, actually, because the fact that we just missed it, if price can go and test that level, maybe wick through it a little bit as well, that could be a really nice setup to look at. Again, looking to try and catch the next higher low in the sequence there. 1, 2, 3. We've taken out the highs, which I was mentioning yesterday, which is very, very important because it kind of invalidates this bearish structure here. So the chances of us of getting a big move to the downside and seeing new lows is a lot less now. And I'm expecting the continuation of this bullish trend here. So very, very bullish in silver, bullish in gold as well. The fact that gold's flying to the sky kind of gives me a bit more confidence in buying silver as well, knowing that gold is so bullish. So the plan really is just to try and find that higher low. It still looks good at this area here at 31.7. So that's where my attention lies. And then longer term, looking to see if we can take silver all the way back up to 34.842. Yeah, hopefully we can get into a trade of that size. But yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at with gold, silver, and the USD pairs. What's up, Manzondi? Have I second morning? Not sure if I have, but good morning. Hope you're well. Holy One, what is up? Actually, in your USD buy and profit. Okay, nice for 80 pips. I'll see 130 is fundamentals, chop technicals. Buy blue for now. Okay, I completely forgot about NFP. I completely forgot about that. So yeah, we do have NFP today, don't we? Yeah, NFP at 130. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the news, of course. Okay, you can see before 130. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the USD CAD is small blue again. I'll see by 130. Okay, are you shorting dollar CAD or buying dollar CAD? Ahmed, what's up? GJ, UJ, 1 hour time frame. Okay, we'll take a look at that as well. What's up, CS Integrated? Hope you're well. Appreciate it, my man. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. Does really help out. I do appreciate everyone who has liked the stream so far and subscribed. Lighton, what's up? Good to have you back. Hope you're doing good. Can take gold and silver buys. Had to leave them. Too many trades running. Yeah, got to manage risk at the end of the day. Again, especially when you look at a wide range of markets, as I know you do and I do as well. It's important to kind of make sure you're juggling that kind of risk as well, especially in terms of just managing trades as well, because you don't want to be having like 15 trades open at the same time on 15 different pairs, because you won't be able to focus and make the right decision. You'll be all over the place emotionally. So yeah, making sure you're not stretched too much is definitely important in terms of keeping yourself focused. Anyway, I'll go through GJ and dollar yen on the hourly time frame for Ahmed. Shorting it was in your Discord, remember? Okay, yes. I mean, it would make sense because you're buying Euro USD as well, so you would want to be shorting dollar CAD too, unless you want to look for a hedge. CS Integrated closed off my DXY okay, 182 since it can't go to 108.2. Now buy again, 107.616, TP 108.2. Okay, are you looking to hold that through the news, or this bit more still of a short-term kind of trade? I'll take a look at the DXY in a second. Let me just go through the yen pairs, or at least GJ and dollar yen. So GJ I'm very bearish on. We've actually taken out a couple lows, which is lovely to see, which gives me kind of a sign that says, okay, price is likely to see more downside in the longer term. Not really the time and place to be looking to sell the market, because we're still at support. Technically, this is daily support. Last time we were here, what happened? A big move to the upside. So I don't really want to be looking to sell into this. Would be nice if price can start breaking through, and then I can find some opportunities there to start talking about these lows and so on and so forth. It could potentially give us a big move to the upside, which again, you're perfectly fine. I'm still looking for the big short there, should that happen. But at the moment, we're kind of at support right now on the lower time frames. If we're looking to sell, either, like I said, wait for price to break through, or we look for a bigger pullback of this bearish leg here. So just like we had this bearish leg, which had that pullback, kind of looking for the next one for a move to the downside. So I would say as price approaches the 0.5, 0.618 area, that would be a nice place to start to look just short, at least on the hourly time frame, because again, you're not looking for necessarily a big sell-off to these lows here. You're looking for a bit more of an intraday trade. So if you're going to look in that hourly chart, I'll probably keep an eye on this area here for a nice sell around 190.5, 191. I think that would make the most sense to try and catch that next lower high in that sequence. Hourly chart right now looks pretty bullish in terms of the current price action. Of course, we've been falling for a while. So the idea is that we're expecting this bullish price action to last only for a pullback before continuing back to the lows. And I would suggest as we do approach that 0.5, 0.618 area, that's probably a likely area where we could probably see price sell off and see that next lower high. So yeah, pound yen hourly chart looking pretty bullish. Of course, respecting some lows on the left there. So it looks like price is reacting to some support. But I would suggest as we start creeping into 190.5, 191, keep a close eye on those areas because they could send us right back down again. And I think those are good areas to actually be looking to sell from. Let me know what you're looking at on pound yen as well. Okay, too many for me is 4. Once they close, then look for something else. Yeah, it makes sense. Again, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. I suppose it also depends with risk as well. You don't want to be looking to overdo it in terms of risk. And some people might take 10 positions, but they only might be risking very, very small amounts. But then I would argue that even with risking small amounts, it's difficult to kind of pinpoint different trades and managing each trade individually. It's going to be very, very difficult to do, especially if it's 10 different pairs. If it's 10 trades in the same pair, maybe, again, it does come back down just to personal preferences, really. But at the end of the day, you want to be focused with the trades you're taking, and you don't want to be taking too much because you won't be able to juggle them. In terms of dollar yen, I've been looking for longs for this one, particularly at this zone here, but it didn't go to plan. I mean, I didn't even find my entries to be honest, so I didn't get into a trade, which kept me out of a losing position there. So the patience did kind of pay off there, but it hasn't held as I was expecting it to do. And since then, we've actually put some really nice bearish structure in with some lower lows and lower highs. So I would suggest with dollar yen, if you're looking for opportunities, I actually do like the short here. Now, I'm not necessarily longer term bearish just yet with dollar yen. I say that because of the larger bullish structure still at play. We're still seeing higher highs and higher lows. And we still could be forming another higher low at this area. This is still the low which gave us that high. So technically speaking, we need to break through that low to completely invalidate that bullish structure. And then we can start to focus on a longer term push back to 140. So that could be the play for dollar yen. However, like I said, we haven't broke through the lows yet, so it's not confirmed. But what we can look for is smaller and shorter term trades whilst we see what happens with the higher time frames. And a trade like this makes a load of sense. Really strong support, lovely momentum breaking through. We're yet to come back and retest 154 there. Pretty consistent lower highs, one over there, second, third, fourth. Could be looking at a fifth as well, which is the high you're looking to anticipate. And of course, even just a swing back to the low there makes a load of sense. Doesn't have to be down at the lows here, but something like that makes a lot of sense to me. So dollar yen on a shorter medium term sells actually look pretty good from 154. On a longer term point of view, this is still bullish territory, and we could still very much decide to go and shoot to the moon from here and see another higher low. So I would watch out for that, and be prepared for that if it does happen. If price does start breaking through the zone here and starts taking out highs as well here on the left, then yeah, we probably are going to just see price continue, but not looking likely at the moment in time. Again, trading is just about reacting to things, and right now, things are looking pretty bearish. I know we haven't taken out this low yet, but at least from a short-term point of view, I think shorts look pretty good. So yeah, dollar yen, I'll keep an eye on 154. Of course, on the hourly chart, I wouldn't say there's much of an opportunity here. I mean, maybe you can still be looking to attack the sells as we approach this high here, looking for another drop. So that could be a nice shorter term move on the hourly time frame. Wouldn't necessarily interest me too much. I think shorts around this zone will look really good, which is a bit more of a 4-hour trade, but you can probably refine your entries to the hourly to really maximize your risk to reward. But yeah, that's really what I'll be looking at for GJ and dollar yen. We'll take a look at the DXY, see what CS integrated is looking at over there. Going to hold through NFP. Okay, close either loss or profit. Fair enough. Again, there's no kind of right or wrong if you're going to hold trades through NFP. For myself, I do hold trades through NFP. If I'm in a trade, I will happily hold through. There's been times where NFP goes against me. There's been times where NFP goes for me. The key underlying factor is that I'm always managed in terms of my risk. So if I do take a loss, even if I do get slipped, I'm not losing big amounts. Normally have a bigger stop loss size anyway because I'm trading the 4-hour chart. So the risk is pretty managed, even if it does go horribly wrong and we see a humongous drop in a short space of time. But at the end of the day, I am a technical trader, so I've got to trade my technicals and let that edge play out over time. And of course, as a swing trader, you're going to run into news pretty much every week. So it's something you're going to have to it's a pill you have to swallow. But yeah, if you are going to look to hold trades for NFP, there's nothing necessarily wrong about that. But I would say if you're on the lower time frames, like 5-minute chart, for example, and you've got like a 10 pip stop loss on Euro USD or 10 pip stop loss on gold, which would be crazy. Of course, something like that, I think you shouldn't, even if the technicals line up, because if you do get slipped, you can get slipped very badly, even with spread widening. Price could still go in your direction, but you get stopped out because the spread widens, and that's just very annoying. Which again, in terms of risk, isn't really such a bad thing. The really bad thing is just getting slipped, which could happen quite easily in the lower time frames. So if you can stomach that, then go for it. Anyway, in terms of dollar, we'll take a look at that next. Holy one closed the counter trend Aussie CHF buy. Okay, look at this morning, it was high enough, although 80 pips from TP, so closed. Okay, not bad. Ahmed shorting opportunities. Okay, is that for the yen pairs you're looking to short? Yeah, if you're looking to short the yen pairs, then yeah, I would keep an eye on those levels, which I mentioned. Hussein, oil we'll take a look at as well. First, let me just get over DXY, and then we can take a look at your oil position. So yeah, DXY, you said you got long, CS integrated, closed off DXY yesterday. Now buy again, 107.616. 107.616. That is roughly here somewhere. Let me mark it with the old ray. Stop loss 107.4 down here, and targets 108.2 again. Okay, which is there. Okay, not too bad. Probably looking at a nice little 1 to 3 probably if that plays out. Nice area, I have to say. Back at that low, if you're gonna enter a trade, as a support resistance type of guy, I'm always for that. So really nice place for an entry. Stop loss, give yourself a decent amount of room there as well. And targets, I would suggest keep an eye on this area here as well, because although you expecting price to get to your targets, this is a clear area where price has found a lot of resistance, supply, and where sellers are positioned. So maybe if you can trail stops, I think you said you trail stops. Maybe if you look to trail stops once price gets here, I think that'll probably be a smart play, just in case we don't do that again, because that could very much happen, especially when your target is just slightly above the highs there. It would be quite unfortunate to see price give you a nice move just to respect resistance and just miss out on those few extra pips back to your take profit. So I would suggest keep an eye on that area there around 108. But yeah, looking pretty good. Nice reaction off the high. Looks like momentum's picking up with the USD right now as well. So that low looks like it's holding. Of course, NFP is going to have a big say with this position in the afternoon. But nice area. I like the wick there on the 4-hour chart. Overall, DXY is very choppy, as we mentioned yesterday. The direction isn't that clear anymore with the DXY, so shorter term moves are definitely something to focus on, whilst the longer and higher time frame markets kind of clean themselves out. But I like the entry, stop loss, more than enough room, and targets look good, but I would watch out for that 108 area, because that could be a bit of a nuisance. Okay, we'll go take a look at oil, and then we'll go through some of the yen pairs. So oil. Wait, no, that's the wrong one. There we go. So as I said, with oil, being pretty bearish with oil, looking for a push back into support down here. But as I mentioned yesterday, things are not looking that great anymore. So we had these lower highs, one over there, second, third, and of course fourth with that massive wick. Really nice rejection, piercing wick to the upside, lovely bearish candle close the following week, pretty much giving us a really nice evening star pattern. So after we got that, I said there's a good chance price does get to that low, and I'm still expecting that move. To be honest, I'm still looking for a move back down into 66. As long as we don't go and break through the trend line, I'm still expecting a move back down to that low. However, price right now is approaching an area of consolidation. You can see as we consolidated there for a few weeks before a really strong candle close to the upside. So naturally, this is an area of support, an area where buyers could be looking to enter the market. And if I drop to the 4-hour chart, you can see how we've been moving very, very correctively. Ever since we did form that high, we've been slowly chugging to the downside, slowly grinding to the downside very correctively. So this is not really confident bearish price action. You want to see price give you a bit more momentum, drop down. This is a sign of a really healthy trending market. This is a sign of a market that may be looking to turn around. So if I was short, for example, from up here, if I caught that high, I'd probably looking to take some profits at that level. I'd still hold to my targets, which are down at that low, because they're based on the higher time frames. But reacting to what price is giving me, especially the fact that we're coming back into the range here, I would definitely look to secure gains here. In terms of opportunities at the moment, if you're looking to sell, now's not the time. You either want price to push up for another high, maybe as we approach this area, that might be a nice place for a sell, a bit more intraday. But in terms of the current price, now's not the best time to sell, because we are coming into prior support, which is on the higher time frame. So there might be some nice buys here as we respect support, but as a seller, I would say 74 something where you want to be looking to short. Main reason is because this is the high that gave us a pretty nice move to the downside, and you don't want to see price go and break through that high as a seller, because if we do, we're technically breaking structure. And at that point, we might actually be pushing a lot higher. So you want price to respect this area, and if it does, that would be a great place to short, at least to take it back into the lows. So that's kind of where I will be looking to sell oil around 74 if I was looking to trade this one. At the moment, yes, we might keep falling. Price has been pretty consistent with the lower highs, but because of where we're trading, I don't think it's such a smart place, especially how we're trading as well. It's not like we've been falling out the sky. We've been correctively falling. So the odds of us going through a bit of a correction and a pullback, I would say, are much higher at the moment. So yeah, I would keep an eye on 74. Still very much bearish bias with oil. Looking to see a big move back down to the lows here at 66. That's still very much the goal. It'd be interesting to see how the weekly candle does close. At the moment, there's a lot of bearish momentum with this weekly candle, and if it closes like that, I think next week there's a pretty good chance that we see another bearish candle next week as well, and that does take us back into the low. But yeah, very very bearish on oil. At least wait for a pullback before getting into any shorts. But I do still see this moving lower. No problem. Happy to help. CS integrated. Hussein, happy to help as well. So yeah, I want to go through the rest of the yen pairs, take a look at what's happening in that department, because I'm pretty sure the yen pairs are seeing some upside at the moment. So we'll go through that. We'll take a look at the JPY basket as well. We already had a look at pound yen. So as I said with this one, expecting a lot more downside. However, since we are still respecting support at the moment, need to watch out for that. This is still kind of bullish territory. So although I've been talking a lot about the sells for pound yen and quite a few other yen pairs as well, can't be looking to enter any sells right now. We're respecting support pretty well here. Lovely wick rejection, strong close there. That's a sign of potential upside rather than potential downside. But we are still forming these lower highs. So the plan is to try and find the next one. And as we start to approach the 0.5, 0.618, I would argue those are really nice places to short, probably more in the low time frames as well, more hourly chart, refine the entry and then look for that bigger sell. As I said with dollar yen, I really like the sells here as well. A bit more kind of shorter term, not really short term, it's a bit more kind of medium term, if that makes sense. Looking for the retest of that support, which will be turning resistance. Prices already printed in numerous lower highs, and simply looking for the next one in that sequence, and at least a push back to that low. As I said, this is still the high low, which gave us the high. So this is still a very important low to watch out for. But as we have failed to hold that confluence, which I was talking about last week, it does look like price is slowly looking to bleed. So if we can get a retest of 154, I think that'd be a great place to be looking for some entries. In terms of euro yen, I'm pretty bearish on this one as well, longer term. Again, still looking at this as a massive head and shoulder pattern. So you got the left shoulder over there, and the right shoulder over here, and of course the head over there. And of course, this being your kind of slanted neckline, but your neckline most definitely. So looking for this to break, and then of course looking for a lot more downside. The only issue with euro yen at the moment is that, of course, we're approaching support right now. So not the best time to be looking to sell. If you're looking to really capitalize on the big swing, you should really want to be up at the highs here, rather than trying to catch a trade, which is definitely moving, jumping into a moving train, which is about to approach a brick wall right now. Of course, I do expect it to break, but at the same time, I don't want to be shorting into that low. So if I want to get into a trade with euro yen, it's either one or two things. It's either we get the break and look for the next pullback afterwards, however that looks, or price has another reaction at that support level. We push sharp, forming the lower high higher up, and I get involved in that pullback there. It's either one of the two, because right now this is bullish territory. Price is respecting support, not the location, time, or place to be looking to take any sells. But we are forming some really nice lower highs. We've got one over there, second, third, and we've had a lovely bearish leg. So if we can pull back up, see that fourth, that'd be very nice. And that would be something I'll be looking to try and take advantage of. If I map out the high to the low, you can see we've got the 0.5, 0.618 in this area, which pretty much lines up with the low here on the left as well. So that would be my area of confluence to get involved in the short with euro yen. And you can see pretty much the opportunities similar to dollar yen, similar to pound yen, pretty much looking at the same thing. The yen pair's been bearish for the past couple of weeks now. Haven't really set the market alight in terms of a really big bearish move. They've been kind of slowly grinding lower, but we've seen some impressive moves. We broke through structure very well. That's the main thing I was talking about this week with Euro Yen. It was on my weekly analysis. I said if you can break support well here, I'll be looking for some pullbacks, and I am. So now that price is at 161, I'll be looking to short that, at least back to where we came from. But I will be looking to hold positions to go a lot further. But yeah, we're putting in these lower highs. So the goal is to try and catch the next one. Really nice market structure. It would be nice if this had a bit more momentum, if this bearish leg was a bit more meaningful, but I'm not going to be too picky with that position. Looking for the lower high and the more shorts, which again, pretty much similar to the pound yen idea, which we've mapped up, looking for another lower high there for a big short. And of course, similar to the dollar yen trade as well. So it looks like the yen pairs are becoming a bit more in sync. In terms of CAD yen, this one as well, kind of a similar opportunity too. It's making a massive head and shoulder pattern on the daily chart, just like Euro yen is doing as well. So as you can see, you got the left shoulder over there. You got a lovely head over there. And of course, you got your right shoulder over there as well. This being your neckline of the pattern. So as you can see, you're pretty much approaching the neckline. It's not as clear cut, but we're pretty much at that area. So again, with CAD yen, this is not the time or place to be looking to sell the market. If anything, now's the best time to be looking to buy. But I'm not really interested in the buy because the way I see the market is that we had that big drop in July. This to me still has the characteristics of a correction. So I do expect us to eventually break the downside with a lot of momentum. Whether we see a push to the upside first before that happens and then we make the move, or we're just getting ready for the breakout right now, I have no idea. That's up to CAD yen to decide. But if we do push up, I do have areas which I'm looking to short from. If we do push down, I'll be looking for pullbacks, and I do have areas which I'll be looking to short from as well. So whichever way CAD yen wants to play it, whether we want to break to the upside first, have a bigger move, and then collapse, I'm interested in that. I've got areas which I'm looking to short from. If we just kind of drop to the downside there, maybe have some JPY news and things get very bearish, and then I'll be looking at pullbacks underneath. But right now, we're at support, testing this low here as well. So yeah, it's not the best time to be looking to short CAD yen either. And I'm kind of seeing a lot of this with the yen pairs, all kind of testing support or areas of demand, and areas where we could see a bit of a move to the upside. Same with dollar yen, same with pound yen, same with euro yen, all testing areas of support. So again, in terms of shorting CAD yen, I'm not really seeing a good short opportunity right now. Even if we do pull back, it's got to be right up at the high there for me to consider shorting CAD yen, because this high didn't give us a lower high. So I wouldn't be looking at a pullback of this move for a lower high for a short, because this move here didn't create new lows. So it's not a major lower high I should be looking at. The last major lower high is this one, which gave us this move here. So I'll be looking at something like this to form, and then the short, probably connected with a trend line, something like that. So that's something I would be interested in with CAD yen, if we can get back to the high there. Or if we go for a bigger move, as I said, I'll be looking for shorts back at 111.425. That's something I'll be interested in as well. But in terms of direction, still very bearish, still looking at a really big move to the downside for the yen pairs in 2025. That's still very much the plan, but not quite just set up yet for the trade. In terms of high time frame structure, it looks good. It's just in terms of actually placing positions, not quite there yet. This is still bullish territory, so I would still very much be careful of looking to buy CAD yen. In terms of Aussie yen, still within the range, or more or less around the area of the range. I mean, yesterday looks like price was breaking out of it. Now it looks like price is trying to break back inside. So overall, not very, very clear cut right now with Aussie yen. And I say that because although, yes, price is trading below the range and trading below support, so technically it's a breakout. But again, with trading, it's all about quality over quantity. And if there is no kind of clear-cut breakout, then I'm not looking to trade it. Yes, price may have technically broken out, but the breakouts I want to see is a clear drop, clear momentum as well 2, 3, 4 big bearish candles breaking through. Don't all have to be massive, but just at least give me confidence that price is breaking through. We had a gap at the start of the week, then price kind of slowly broke below. So overall, very choppy price action. Not something you want to bank on. So I'm still waiting for price to really push down, take out these lows and really show commitment. Then I'll be looking at pullbacks and shorting opportunities. And again, if you do get a clear-cut breakout, I've got targets of where I'm expecting price to go. So there's no point in me trying to rush anything or trying to force anything, because if you do break out properly, then I do expect us to push back to 90.135 to that wick low. And if you do break to the upside properly, I'm looking for us to push back to the high. So either which way, there's pullback opportunities. We break the high, opportunities to ride it back to that high there. If we break the low, opportunities to ride it to the wick low. So that's really what I'm after. But just haven't really had the quality yet of a breakout. And if price does start to trade back inside, then what do we have? We've got a couple of fake outs, which probably will give us a push back in the opposite direction, which is not something we're after, or at least I'm not anyway, with Aussie yen. So kind of just staying patient, not looking to trade within the range. That's just no man's land for me. So just waiting for price to make its move and hopefully find some opportunities shortly afterwards. New Zealand yen, the breakout was a bit better, but equally we're still respecting that low, which is not great, because that's essentially where we had that fake out last time. So of course we had the massive gap. This is our range high up here, and that's the range low down there. We had the massive gap at the start of the week, which broke us out of the range. So things were looking pretty bearish at the week as the week started, but then we filled most of the gap, or filled the gap and climbed back above the range. So I said that this looks like a big fake out and possibly we'll be getting ready for a big move to the upside. We broke back again to the downside, but still just to respect the low. So not good, because this is where we faked out to last time. So price is going to really break out. We need price to kind of break through those lows as well. Now give us a much strong indication that we're probably going to keep selling off. And like I said, with Aussie yen, the wick low is the target. It's the same situation with New Zealand yen as well. The wick low there will be the target too. So I like Aussie yen and New Zealand yen because there's targets in either direction, big targets to work with, a lot of pips to catch, and especially because they're ranging for a long period of time. Look what happened last time we ranged and we had a breakout. We were followed by some really decent momentum. Unfortunately, there wasn't a pullback for the retest, so I missed out on that move. But momentum is the key thing. So hopefully this time we can see a bit of a pullback and catch that move. But momentum is likely to follow afterwards, whether we break up or break down. Momentum normally does follow after ranges. So I'm not the biggest fan of price action in the range, but outside of it, there could be some nice opportunities. But as I said, right now, respecting support. So let's see if price can continue lower. And then, yeah, I'll be looking at some pullbacks. Maybe get retested that low there. It really depends on the breakout. But something like that is what I'll be interested in, and looking to take price right down to the lows. CTF JPY, I also like the shorts with this one as well. I'm pretty bearish too. This one has had some really nice structure, I must admit. We've gone and taken out the lows here as well. So again, showing more indication that we're probably likely to continue to sell off. Really nice lower highs with the equal highs over there. Nice drops to the downside. Since then, we've been forming consistent lower highs as well. So pretty much looking for the next lower high in the sequence for another drop. It is a bit of an awkward area to short from because we're still kind of trading at that support level there. But I do expect to see a lot more downside back into this low at 165.5. So the plan is basically looking for the next low high in this sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking for number 6 there. And then hopefully a nice short back into 165. But you can see that pretty much all yen pairs I'm looking for downside. If I go to the yen basket, if I can spell basket, there we go. If I go to the yen basket, I'm looking for a pretty big move to the upside back into the high there at 7,100. Although we are respecting resistance there, I am looking for another higher low to form. So another one of this, and then another push to the upside. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for pound yen. That's looking for euro yen. That's what I'm looking for CAD yen, Swiss yen as well. So, of course, I could be wrong. Maybe you do sell off and have a really big move to the downside. That could be the case as well. As I said, I will be looking at longs as we approach this area for the yen basket and shorts for the other yen pairs as well. So I do have a contingency plan there. But yeah, I'm looking at higher low around 6,250. 6,250. So we'll see how that gets going. But yeah, that's really where I'm at with the yen pairs. Holy One. Okay, New Zealand hit take profit, nice to the pip, then bounce. I'll say that again next week. It's in pullback mode for today. Yeah, it looks like it is. That's what's kind of the theme I'm getting for most of the yen pairs, which makes sense because if you look at the yen basket where we're trading, and this has a bunch of yen pairs. It's marked against. Then you can see we've come back into a major high and thrown some decent wicks to that on the 4-hour chart. So looks like it is in pullback mode today, especially coming back from a high. So yeah, probably a move down before some more upside. I completely agree with you. Nice trade as well on New Zealand yen. Hopefully can pretty much copy and paste that next week. Another pullback, another entry, another continuation next week. Could be the case. And if you can break the highs here for the yen basket, then we're looking at 7,100. And that means New Zealand yen's going to fall, Aussie yen's going to fall, pound yen's going to fall. All of the above. Good morning, Isola. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. New Zealand dollar, okay. We'll get to that as well for you, no problem. Ahmed, no change for US 30 Nasdaq. Maybe markets waiting for NFP. Yeah, probably. We do tend to dry up a little bit, especially for the indices, because of course they're kind of just all waiting for the dollar as well. Number one, that's when the New York session opens up. So that's when they kind of pick up and do most of their work anyway. And two, when you got a big announcement like NFP, a lot of people will be waiting to see what the announcement does entail. So yeah, a lot of the time the indices do drop just before NFP. So yeah, we'll go through the indices. I was supposed to go through them earlier, but we'll take a look at them. Oh, just hit my hand. We'll take a look at them and we'll see what happens with Bitcoin as well. I think that's still ranging, to be honest. So not much. Maybe that's waiting for NFP as well. Anyway, we'll take a look at New Zealand dollar first. If there's a particular time frame you do want me to take a look at, Isola, let me know. If you're looking at intraday or higher time frames, let me know. But all I can say really for New Zealand dollar is that price action looks really flat to me. I mean, it looks like price may be forming a bit of a bottom. So that's kind of the impression I'm getting. We've had a really strong move to the downside since September last year. And price is now starting to lose that momentum as we've become a little bit sideways. We took out the high, didn't really continue. Took out the low, didn't continue either. So price is reverting at the highs, reverting at the lows. So that to me is a characteristic of a market that's moving sideways. And because we've had such a big drop and now we're moving sideways, this could be the sign of a bottom. Could also be the sign that price is pausing to continue. But because we've already had such a big drop, I'm under the impression that we'll more likely see upside. But of course, anything can happen. I'm not really looking to trade inside the range anyway. I'm just waiting for price to commit in one direction, and then I can start talking about some opportunities. But yeah, as of right now, as I said, we are consolidating, respecting highs, respecting lows. So in terms of an opportunity, I'm not really seeing much here for New Zealand dollar, to be honest. I do actually expect more downside longer term. I do expect us to take out the wick lows here at some point, but we might want to have some retracement first. I have marked areas along here of where we might retrace to before seeing that continuation. But of course, we're nowhere near that, so that's going to take a few days to happen. But yeah, I do think New Zealand dollar right now is starting to range, starting to consolidate. Maybe there's some shorts at the high here, but nothing that I would look to take personally. Again, the way I'm looking to trade is analyze momentum, analyze direction, looking for corrections and then continuation in that direction. Right now, there is no kind of direction here for the 4-hour chart, which is where I'm spending most of my time. So there's not really much of an edge here for me. So until we start to make that a bit more clear, then I will look to start to speak on opportunities a lot more. But yeah, NZUSD right now just consolidating. Might be some shorts at the high, but really I'm waiting for price to break out and looking to try and catch pullbacks afterwards. In terms of the indices, are we not moving too much? Yeah, did see a bit of a dip yesterday though, and price did come back to respect that level, so that would have been a nice place for a buy yesterday. Nice reaction, especially. Oh, I thought that was during the New York session. That wasn't. We did sell off during the New York, but this actually happened right at the end of the day. So not really the best time to enter a trade, to be honest. But hey, price action did held up pretty well. Maybe today, again, if we have a bit of a sell spike through, that could end up being a really nice buy. Like if the news can open up, tank us the downside, flush out some traders from yesterday, then start to react. That could be a really nice trade setup for this afternoon. Looking to ride it back to the high and back to all-time highs, which I'm expecting US30 to do. We come very, very close to making new all-time highs twice now. Once over there, second time there. So I think price is just teasing the idea before actually going to do it. So yeah, I think pullbacks look really good for US30. Of course, as we start to approach back to resistance, probably want to be a little bit more careful because we could respect it again and come right back down again. So you probably want to either take some profit there or move your stop loss to break even or in profit or trail it. That really does depend how you want to manage that position. But the way I see it, US30 still likely got another move to the upside in it, and expecting new higher highs pretty soon as well. What's up, Lauda? Hope you're well. Hope NFP treats us well. Indeed, indeed. Are you still No, you weren't in any positions. Have you taken any new positions? I remember I asked you yesterday or the day before, and you said you had some nice trades from Euro USD and pound, I think, from the gaps. But you've been on the sidelines waiting for another opportunity. And to be fair, Euro USD and pound have been very, very choppy. So price action has been that great. But yeah. But yeah, in terms of US30, looking at more upside there. In terms of NAS 100, very, very choppy still. Equal highs over there, equal lows down here. And price has just been consolidating between these two levels. So overall, I look at the trend here. Everything still looks very, very bullish for NAS. And to me, it just looks like price has had another push. It's pausing in that kind of pullback. And I'm expecting price to break to the upside. So my best bet is more upside for NAS. My best bet is more upside for US30. We'll get to S&P in a second. But NAS, I'll expect price to continue higher. In terms of opportunities, I would either wait to see price come right back to the low end of the range and look for entries there. At least that way I can put stop loss right below, maximize my risk reward. Should price respect that area and go back up, I'm going to see a really nice healthy return in that position. Buying right now is not a great time to buy. Number one, we're approaching resistance. This is where clearly a lot of sellers are having a lot of joy. So this is not the time and place to be looking to buy. If price does break through though, then yeah, it does become an interesting buy. And yeah, back to highs and so on and so forth. So two ways to trade NAS: either wait for price to push to the low of the range or wait for break and retest or breakout or something along those lines before looking to buy. As at the moment, we're approaching resistance and now not the best time to be looking to buy the market. But yeah, overall still very bullish for NAS. In terms of S&P, so this one I don't really like either, to be honest. Although, yes, everything's still pretty bullish. Number one, this is pretty much a range here for the S&P. We're very, very sideways, respecting highs, respecting lows. Haven't really gone anywhere. Number two, the most recent price action was starting to form some lower highs here as well. One over there, second over there. Is this a third? It could well be. And we could potentially get another drop to the downside. So number one, price action wise, very, very flat. Number two, price action wise, forming lower highs as well. We're kind of stacking reasons not to take a buy here really with the S&P. If you're looking to buy it, I would suggest this area looks a lot better. since we've had a strong move to the upside once, twice, and a third time from that area. So I would suggest that this is a much more comfortable place to buy from, even down at the low there. Makes a lot more sense. Or if you want to be extra patient, wait for price to break the high and look for some pullbacks afterwards. Either which way, you just want to be not buying into resistance, buying into structure there. Doesn't really make too much sense. So yeah, with the S&P, NAS and US 30 long term, everything is still bullish. If it goes to the daily chart, if you look at the overall trend, there's no kind of real sign of reversal here just yet with the S&P. So it's onwards and upwards. However, just not right now, at least in terms of trading. Maybe NFP lights up the market and we just fly off to the upside, but I don't see a clear trade to try and take advantage of that. Okay, you're waiting for NFP. Yeah, I mean, smart move. I mean, if you're not in trade already, NFP comes out in about 2.5 hours, just shy of that. So unless you're going to go for a quick intraday trade, as in you're in and out before NFP, which is doable. 2 hours is a lot on like the 5 or 15 minute chart. Actually, not really 15. 15 is just 8 candles. So a 5 minute chart is enough time to possibly catch a nice trade there. But equally, are you going to see enough momentum? Are you going to see enough volume to actually hit those targets in those 2 hours, knowing that the market probably is going to dry up a little bit until the news does come out? That's where things get a bit dodgy. Don't want to get a situation where you're taking a trade and price is just going along your entry price for the 2 hours, and then the fact that you're paying commission and you got spread as well, makes kind of the trade a little bit void. So I think it's best if you are intraday just to wait till after the news anyway, unless of course you're already in a position from earlier. Good morning, Anthony. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. The buy for US 30 setting up for next week. I would agree. Yeah, if we can get a nice kind of breakout, it looks good. Or even just another test of that same level, which I just mentioned earlier. Even if price can come back, retest that same level there on the hourly chart, I think that could be a nice little buy there. Something like this, because we're keeping up the higher lows. 1, kind of 2, 3, 4. So we're kind of slowly stepping to the upside. We're still seeing healthy momentum in the bullish moves. We're right back into at the all-time high. I expect price to create new all-time highs pretty soon as well. So yeah, if we can keep up this structure, I do fancy another big swing to the upside there for US 30. So buys around 44,600 look good, or waiting for price to break out and then pull back. That could be a nice opportunity as well. But either way, you still see more upside there. Lauder, thoughts on New Zealand CADs? I will take a look at that one for you. Haven't gone through New Zealand CADs yet. I'm still pretty bearish on New Zealand CADs, but we'll take a look at it. Again, any particular time frames you want me to look at, let me know. Hoodie one, and I'll go for US 30 buy confirmation one direction, but again, you can't take till current trades finish. I see. Yeah, got to manage it, especially when you're going into NFP as well. Hoodie one. Maybe if it's like a non-NFP day, maybe you can get away with taking one more position. But especially on an NFP day where things will be going quite quickly, I don't think you need the extra stress. Really, it's not really worth it. Just out of curiosity, why don't we have a currency that's based on diamond standard, just like we have gold? If anyone knows, that's a good question. To be fair, I don't know. I actually have no idea. To be fair, because it's the same situation, a rare, a kind of a rare commodity, gold, silver, copper, diamond, all kind of rare commodities. Well, maybe not copper's that rare, but in terms of it's limited. So that's actually a good question. To be fair, that would be very interesting. But I have no idea. I'm sure there's some political reason behind that. of why some diamond standard currency doesn't exist. I'm sure there's a political reason behind that, but yeah, I never thought about that before. Good question. What's up, Chris? Good morning. Hope you're well. I am doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Uh, Happy to help, Chris. Happy to help. I'm glad you find it useful. Can only trade stock companies that mine diamonds, but not diamonds directly. Yeah, I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is, Holy One. Because it's like you can trade companies um, that refine gold, that mine gold as well, and you can trade gold against the dollar. Of course, gold is like the pegged instrument for currency, or used to be anyway. But I think diamond's also a good one as well. Doesn't have to be pegged necessarily, but why can't you open up a chart and see what diamond's doing against USD? That would be very interesting to see, actually. I'm sure there's a weird political reason behind that. Anyway, I'll go through New Zealand CAD for Lauder before I forget. Um, yeah, New Zealand CAD's still pretty bearish. Again, longer term, still looking for a push back into the low here at 0.796. However, things are getting a little bit choppy. I think on an intraday level, things still look good. We're still obeying this bearish channel. In fact, let me just use the channel tool, which is over there. So we're still obeying the channel. So if I drag this across, it's the daily chart. I should probably see it better. So really nice lower lows and lower highs. The market's been pretty consistent with it, respecting the high there again. So if we continue with this, then the plan is another push back to the low, but more so back to the low down here. Back into daily support just below 0.8, 0.796, we'll call it. So expecting more downside for New Zealand CAD. We've already broken through structure here on our left, taking out these lows here. So the odds of us seeing a really big move to the upside are very, very slim now. That could still happen, but we need to probably double bottom first before we go through something like that. So that's why the odds of price coming back to support is pretty high now. And the fact is, price is still respecting structure, still seeing consistent lower highs. So the odds of us seeing a pushback to the low just look very, very good. So in terms of the buys for New Zealand CAD, it's pretty clear cut for me. Very, very bearish. Things look good in the higher time frames. Things look good lower time frames. The pullback has been okay there on the hourly chart. We'll see that a bit closer up in a second. There we go. So the pullback has been decent. Again, looking for pretty much the retest of this low here, which is the neckline of the double top pattern. So you got the head over there, other head, and of course that being the neckline, strong break of that. Looks like price is coming back for a retest before selling off. I did say yesterday would be nice if price can kind of push back into the high a little bit deeper and then get the sell. So that's kind of what would look good on the hourly chart. I wouldn't say we've quite done that just yet. Still kind of slowly pushing up. I would like to see maybe one more push to the upside, which could happen from NFP potentially. Another push up, a bit of a wick forms, and then we get the sell. But again, even a sell just back into the low here from an hourly perspective could look very, very good. 1 to 2, 1 to 3 into that low. Then you can always leave some positions to run if you want to really try and milk the trade for what it's worth back to that low there, which is where do you see it going on the higher time frames. But yeah, New Zealand CAD looks really good to me. Lovely double top, really strong break to the downside. Looks like price is struggling to break through that support level there, which of course is acting as resistance at the moment. Of course, the best place to short this one would be at the high. So that's kind of really where you want to put your entries and your stop loss above. Entries and stop loss above here aren't as good just because you're a bit more in the middle. So you're a bit more at risk of kind of random fluctuations, which a pair like New Zealand CAD does do from time to time. So that will be the overall best place to take the trade. But since that is gone, this is definitely the next best place. So still looks good there. New Zealand CAD expecting a push back to the low. And hopefully we can go a lot further as well. It's political, but the chat doesn't give me enough characters to explain. Oh, okay. All mine diamonds and you can't trade these. Oh, okay. That is some interesting insight there, Holy One. All big brands mine diamonds. I didn't know that, to be honest. I didn't know Hennessy, Louis Vuitton um, mines diamonds. I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean, when you look at something like that, it kind of has to be political in terms of the reason, not because you've got literally so many commodities you can trade, silver, copper, platinum. Um, again, they're quite um, they're used in a lot of places, whereas diamond's a bit more. Again, diamond you can use in a few places as well. I mean, I'm not that very knowledgeable on the utilities of diamond, but I know it's used for other than just jewelry as well and fashion. The CAD newsletter might help us realize that downwards move. Uh, fingers crossed. Nice. I literally forgot about the CAD news. I was just too focused on the NFP. Okay, so yeah, we do have CAD unemployment rate, which is expected to go up. Expected to go up at 1:30, of course, same time as the NFP comes out. So keep an eye on CAD, and if, of course, if the unemployment rate goes up, that's not good for CAD, though. That's not good for CAD. If the unemployment goes up, that's not good for CAD, which probably sends New Zealand CAD up. But of course, if it's the other way around, then that should help. If it comes out lower than expected or completely flipped, that should help out CAD. But we'll see. Fingers crossed, as Lauder says. Night Trainer, McDonald's, Rice. Just take your pick. Yeah. I don't think you will catch me trading night trainers though. Might have to rule it out there, draw the line there. Night trainers. I wonder what the liquidity is saying on a market like that. Anyway, I'll start to go through some of the crosses. Haven't taken a look at them yet. We'll go through the rest of the CAD pairs as well, and some C share pairs. Oh, I said I was going to take a look at Bitcoin, didn't I? I'll go through that quickly. Then I'll go through some of the crosses. Okay, so what is Bitcoin doing? Last time I looked at Bitcoin, we're kind of just doing nothing. Is that still the case? Yeah, that's pretty much the case. Not much has changed since we last spoke. I believe last time we spoke, we're kind of trading around here, was it? Nope, Thursday. Yeah, probably basically same place. So nothing's really happened with Bitcoin, and kind of rightly so. We're still very much in a range, so price does need a lot of momentum to do something. Whether we're going to break to the upside, to the downside, I have no idea. Um, but I can say that should we do break to the upside, there could be some really nice long opportunities. And should we break to the downside, there could be some nice shorts. But equally, I will be looking at price having a really big move to the upside if we can approach 73, 72K, which is a retest of this high here. So although if this does break, yes, that's not looking too good for the crypto market there, but longer term, this is very much still the trajectory of Bitcoin. So although people will be looking to probably have a bit of a nervous breakdown if Bitcoin does break 92K, it might be for the greater good. We might need to push down first, flush out some people, collect some more buyers before we do have a big move to the upside and go and hit new all-time highs. Equally, should we do and just break the highs anyway, then yeah, retest and pullbacks look good. I think 120K is probably the next big psychological level for Bitcoin. If I kind of measure the width of that range, not the width, sorry, the height, and if I can clone that on top, just takes us just above 120K. So yeah, I would say 120K is kind of a reasonable expectation of where price can go. Typically, when we do break out of a range, we normally go the distance of it. For example, if I was to measure the range here from the low to the high on average, and if I clone that, kind of see, well, price has gone a lot further than that, but at least we did that distance there. So if you could do something similar, maybe that takes us into 130K potentially, but I would expect us to do something similar there as well. So 120K would be the next best bet for Bitcoin, of course, because we can't look to the left and try and use price action. There is nothing to the left. So it looks good for a push to the upside, but we need to break the range first, of course. And at the moment, we're still very much within that range. So a lot of work needs to be done for Bitcoin. But yeah, the market is still very flat. We'll keep an eye on this one. I'll have a quick look at Ethereum as well. I think Ethereum got hit a lot harder than Bitcoin. That one had a really big, that was a massive wick there earlier this week, although respecting some really key support, which I was mentioning on Monday as well. If we go to the weekly chart, really key level of support. I think that's actually not a bad place to pick up some longs. Because all the market is doing really is just bouncing between resistance and support. At the moment, we respected support very well. So yeah, I do think some upside is due. I would watch out though as we do approach these areas here, because we are still forming these lower highs, which does worry me a little bit for Ethereum. High over there, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low down there. I wonder we're going to form another one and make another lower low. And that's, of course, not good at all for Ethereum. So, yeah, market structure not looking great, but maybe we do change around from that low. I think the momentum is just the key thing we're looking for. Need some whales to go and buy some crypto. Night comes under NTTX is up at the minute, 4% trading. Oh, okay. Do you keep up to date with Nike's price? I don't think you trade stocks. Do you trade stocks? Anyone? Anyway, let me go through some of the CAD pairs. So we had a look at New Zealand CADs. I think Aussie CAD's pretty much in the same boat as well. However, just not as clean. Let me drop to the intraday. Yeah, it's not looking as good. I mean, still respecting the channel pretty well. But again, in terms of entries, in terms of finding a good stop loss, if you compare a stop loss to above the highs here versus a stop loss above there, every day of the week would I want my stop loss to be here. And if that's the case, then I want to find an entry that is, close to that high as possible, but also, of course, looking for a good entry as well. So I don't want to necessarily be in a situation where I'm taking an entry here and I'm going to chuck my stop loss above the high there, which, yes, my stop loss is in a nice place, but number two, the risk reward is quite skewed. I'll probably be looking at maybe a 1 to 1.5 maybe back into the low. Yeah, something like that, which, again, not that bad. Again, you're still positive risk reward. But it could be a lot better. It could be a lot better. It was pretty awkward at the start of the week, to be honest, especially with the gap, because we gapped up and then pushed down. So it was a bit difficult to find entries. Same with New Zealand CAD as well, which definitely skewed the risk to reward. But now that we are respecting some structure in the hourly chart, You can look for some trades here and another pullback with a stop loss above the high here. But the difference is I wouldn't be as aggressive with this trade as I would be with the trade over there. If this does play out, I'd look to try and remove risk by the time we get to the low here. Then maybe hold on to that low, and I wouldn't be looking at the full swing. Or maybe I'll just hold a very small position to the full swing because we are still pretty corrective. We're not really seeing strength and momentum. Really, we had one big bearish candle here, but hasn't really amounted to much. So I'm kind of worried a little bit with Aussie CAD's price action. Is this just a big impulse and just a big correction for price to potentially fly? That's kind of the impression I'm getting a little bit there with Aussie CAD. So that's why I'm not a big fan of the shorts right now. We need a bit more momentum, which Entity CAD does have. Of course, they do trade similar, so they'll probably do the same thing. But New Zealand CAD just looks a lot better. Aussie CAD looks very, very corrective to me, so I'm not a big fan of this price action at all. Yeah, he's crashing out next right now. I bet he is. Not really. I was looking at stock. Okay. Looking for a few things, but I haven't traded stocks since late year. Was that last year? Since last year? Yeah, I mean, I don't trade stocks either, so it's nothing I look at myself. I don't really see myself looking to trade stocks. Maybe, don't say never, but yeah, if I do trade stocks, it's either like I'm looking to buy and hold for a long, long time, or it's got to be intraday. I'm not really type of swing for stocks. Anyway, we'll take a look at some more CAD pairs. So we went through New Zealand CAD, Aussie CAD, Euro CAD is looking very, very choppy right now. Not really seeing much clarity with this one. Again, we're very, very flat, equal highs over there, equal lows back over here as well. Market's not really going anywhere. So yeah, kind of just waiting for price action to pick up in terms of momentum. We're coming to an area where we could be forming another higher low. We've got one over there, second, possibly a third. This could be another place where we do form a higher low and push back up again. But the real big thing with EuroCAD is that there is no trend. The market is respecting resistance for a while, still respecting support. This is kind of like the average price here. We haven't gone anywhere. So there's no real trend at play. No momentum really at play here. So there is no kind of real opportunity I see apart from just shorting the highs really or buying the lows. If you're looking to do that, there is opportunities as we can evidently see. But in terms of the middle where we're trading, not the best place or location to buy or sell, especially if you're looking to enter on like 4-hour chart and above, not the best place. Intraday, you might find some nice opportunities. I understand there's some momentum here. Maybe there could be a nice little break and retest there. But again, I wouldn't bank on that going very far, given the fact that there's no kind of real trend at play. So you're more looking to take advantage of a reaction rather than a big swing. So yeah, EuroCAD, I don't really see much of an opportunity with this one. I would personally stay away. Again, not every market is going to be very clear. Not every market is going to give you great opportunities all the time. In fact, most of the time, a market will probably be pretty stale, which is one of the benefits of looking at a wide range of markets, which means you can pick which market is looking good at the time and trade that one. Because there'll be many times where markets just aren't worth your time. And right now, EuroCAD is definitely that with myself. So I'd stay away from EuroCAD. Pound CAD, this one as well, not really that's an area which I want to do anything, but a nice rejection from the high earlier this week. We actually gapped into it, respected the high and had a really big push down. We've got support down here, which respected very well last week as well, or the week before. And then we had the middle of the range, which is kind of this support level here as well. I remember I drew the Fibonacci from the low to the high. More or less the 50s in that level. That's kind of where we're looking for price to get to. So I said during my weekly analysis, if you do find some shorts up at the high here, what you could do is book some profits at the middle and then leave some profits to run down to the low. That way, if price does turn around against you, you're not kind of stressing too much because you already banked partials. Maybe stop loss already break even. So you're already paying yourself. And of course, if it does break through, you can still take advantage of that with the remainder of your position. But it looks like price right now is bouncing at that low pretty well. But yeah, I don't really have an opportunity with pound CAD because right now in the middle of the range. And again, as I always say, that's literally the worst place to get involved when you're trading in a market. If you're looking to trade right in the middle, because that's where you get the most speculation, the most fluctuation in price, and we'll just be all over the place. So pound CAD, I would stay very much away from. It's probably not worth the hustle. But if you do get back to the highs or do get back to the lows, then yes, opportunities can present themselves, and we can see a bit more of a reaction, 100%. But in the middle, I would stay very much far away from that. In terms of, I mean, that's pretty much the CAD pairs. Of course, we already spoke about dollar CAD, which I'm really bearish on. I like dollar CAD a lot, but we need to either break support, and then I'll be looking for shorts underneath, or we pull back into the high here, and I'll look for shorts up there. So with dollar CAD, it's either or. We either short at the high, or we break and we test the low. But in terms of the bias, I'm looking at this as a massive fake out to the upside. I'm looking at that as a manipulation of the range. So this is the range, price consolidating, knowing a lot of traders would be short, short, short right at the top. And of course, that big move there would have wiped out quite a few positions, knowing that now that we've grabbed that liquidity, that could be the catalyst that does send us to the downside. So there's two ways I'm looking to trade it: either the break and we test, or we push back to the high. But either way, I do think there's a big move to be had to the downside for dollar CAD. So in terms of the CAD pairs, that's really where I'm at. Of course, CAD Yen, we talked about that one earlier as well. But dollar CAD I actually do really like, so keeping a very close eye on USD CAD as we do develop. Okay, last year Boeing was only a small position, took me out on a loss. No point in trading stocks anyway. Money was just trade 10 loss in euros. And yeah, fair enough. To make themselves feel good, you can trade one pair all year. Jan to December, become a millionaire. Very true as well. Very, very true as well. It depends what you're looking at. Depends, what floats your boat really. Especially the time frames you work on as well. Because I know if I was to try and trade one pair for a whole year, I would have to make sure I drop down to like 15-minute, 5-minute charts to be able to find my opportunities. On the 4-hour chart, I wouldn't find enough to hit the results I want to see. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're looking for good opportunities, whether that is all year round in Euro USD, whether that's in 10, 15 different pairs. It's down to the trader. If you look at great trades of the past, there's many traders who are just focused on 1 or 2 pairs and made loads of money there. There's people who have trade more markets than you can count. Really, you made a lot of money there as well. It's all about the opportunity, really. It's all about the opportunity. If you're trading 100 pairs, but you're taking crap opportunities in all those 100 pairs, then of course you're not going to see the results you want to see. But if you're taking good opportunities, then the profits will come to you one way or another. Anyway, in terms of the crosses, we'll go to pound Aussie. So this one, we had a pretty strong move to the downside yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday, off the Bank of England interest rate decision. So really strong move to the downside, of course, with the weakness in the GBP. It hasn't really done too much though. Pound's pretty weak. We had the rates drop. So fundamentally looked pretty weak, technically looked pretty weak, but we haven't really seen much continuation of that. We've kind of just stopped on the dime. I've noticed all the pound pairs are looking a little bit bullish this morning. Pound USD's up, pound CAD's up, pound yen is up. Last time I checked anyway, pound Aussie, I think pound NZD's pushing up too. So we didn't really see much continuation of that momentum yesterday. However, things still look pretty bearish, at least intraday here for pound Aussie. I'm looking at the lower time frames. We've broken through structure here on the left. This was a low which gave us the high over there. Now we've since gone and broken through that structure. So now the plan is to look for another lower high here, for another drop to the downside, and a push back into this area here, and maybe even take out that low. But I think a lower high looks good there. It does really depend on how we develop though. If we just shoot straight up, it wouldn't look good. If we stay corrective, then yeah, we could really see a nice lower high form, maybe on the retest of this low here, if we can see enough momentum. course, we'll see what NFP does. But yeah, in terms of market structure, being pretty consistent with the lower highs, I say as long as we respect the high here, I would still be looking at price selling off again. Very consistent with the lower highs, as we can see. So as long as we can maintain that respect, shorts look good. If you do push up, especially impulsively, and break the high like so, then I would be looking at a move to the upside there. It might just form a major high to come back down again, but we'll probably see some more upside rather than a continuation, at least in the next couple of days. But yeah, for now, pound Aussie still looking at a bit of a correction and a move down. Pound NZD, I'm looking at a similar thing as well. Of course, with the big drop we had there on the hourly and the 4-hour chart as well, breaking through some structure here as well. I do think we can see a bit more downside if I drop to the hourly chart. Again, as long as we respect these highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, looking for number 5. This could be a really nice short for a move down as long as we don't take out the high there. And a push back down to these areas look good, 20.18. But yeah, for pound NZD, pound Aussie, I am pretty bearish on these ones. I do think there is some downside to be had intraday. Long term, we are still putting higher lows in. So I'm definitely not bearish on the higher time frames, more specifically the daily chart. As you can see, very, very consistent with the high lows here. So I'm not bearish on the higher time frames, but I am bearish on the lower time frame. So shorter term move, if you will, we do need to start taking out some of these lows for me to shift that bias on the higher time frames. Same thing for pound Aussie as well. Short term bearish, but longer term, we still do have these higher lows to watch out for. So if you do short, I wouldn't look to hold that trade for too long in the preparation of maybe another higher low forming, which could definitely go against you there as well. So I would be careful for that. But yeah, intraday, things look really bearish. Basically looking for the continuation of momentum we saw yesterday from the pound news to keep shorting. Yeah, of course. By that now, what will be the point? Send on a CAD. That is good enough. Of course, you're here to take good positions. You're not here to just to trade just for the fun of it. If there's a good trade, you take the good trade. If there isn't a good trade, you don't take it. That's literally as simple as trading should be. You don't need to go and trade some crazy different market just because you're feeling a little bit bored. And I feel like that's why a lot of people get into a situation, haven't taken a trade, feel a little bit bored, so go scour some markets, try and force a position on. So yeah. So with pound Aussie, pound NZD, looking for a small move down for a bigger move up if we do respect the lows. Euro Aussie and Euro NZD, kind of in a different boat, to be fair. These guys are still consolidating, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Looks like they're trying to break to the downside, but not clear cut yet. True. That is true as well. Of course, with stocks, things move a lot quicker, but if you've got a big enough lot size on, you could do that with dollar CAD as well. Potentially, you could do that with dollar CAD. You could do that with Euro USD. Funny enough, although, I mean, it is true. It is true. If you had a big enough lot size, big enough account, yeah, you could definitely make a load of money just as much as stocks as well. But yeah, again, markets at the end of the day. People make money trading stocks. People make money trading commodities, FX, indices. You know, it really just, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It just matters if you can trade whatever market you're trading. If you're finding success, finding rhythm, consistency, focus on that, hone that, increase that. If not, then of course, maybe pivot or see where you're slipping up and try and work on that. At the end of the day, focus is really what wins in the markets. So you don't want to be jack of all trades. You want to be a master of a few, whether that's a master of a few markets, a few setups, a few entries, a few exits, whatever it is. So want to get very, very good at the simple things. Yes, we'll take a look at NASDAQ for you. Let me just go through Euro NZD and I'll go through Euro NZD and Euro Aussie quickly. Then I'll take a look at NASDAQ. It's all charts and candles 100%. It is all charts and candles. Okay, so Euro NZD just loving life in this range. It's been in this range for about a year and a half, since what, August 23. So yeah, a year and a half about. But we are at a really nice area of the range, because if price is going to respect this, we could really tumble and really see a big move down, like we've done in 2 prior attempts to break through this area, 1 and 2. Price is there for a third time. It's not looking likely price is going to break out at the moment. So should we see price break out this smaller range and see a nice daily candle close to the downside, as I've been saying, this could be really the catalyst to get us really moving and see some real downside here for Euro NZD. I've talked a lot about the middle of the range as a healthy target to have. So if you draw on, again, roughly the middle, it's not exactly pinpoint middle. Doesn't really have to be, just generally speaking, where's the middle of the range? And also you keep an eye for other points of fluctuation as well. Is the market coming into this area, respecting it, or just attracted to this area in general? You can say that it is for sure. We are definitely making a lot of moves into this area. So there's a good chance that price does get back to 1.793. And of course, you can always leave some positions to run if you're looking for a bigger move. Excuse me. Potentially back to the low there at 1.741. But the key thing we're looking for is definitely the break of support, which just hasn't happened yet. So would be nice if we can break through the lows here, see a nice candle close below, and start talking about some shorts underneath that and ride that momentum to the downside. And it's the exact same situation for Euro Aussie, which is also consolidating at a major level of resistance on the daily chart. So if I take this high across, you can see price is moving very, very sideways right now. And again, looking for a push back down to the lows there. If we can see a strong break to the downside, you can look at the middle of the range, but the only reason why I wouldn't look at the middle of this range, because the distance isn't that great. So I would be looking at kind of a bigger move. As you can see, the 50% is around there, which again, price is respecting. There's a few attempts for price using that area of support and resistance. But equally, if we do see a strong break outside of that range, we're pretty much there already. So it doesn't really become worthwhile in terms of risk to reward or closing a position. I mean, you can close a position early. You don't have to necessarily look for a bigger trade. You can probably find a nice one-to-one there potentially. But in terms of letting your winners run, it would be nice if you could stretch the trade a little bit further. Nothing wrong with taking profits at the low. If we do get a big break, we're probably just going to push directly into that level anyway. So yeah, looking at a really big move to the downside for Euro Aussie back to the 1.6 area. But first things first, again, need to break through support. At the moment, looks like we're still just holding on to the support for dear life right now. As you can see there, price looks like it's about to bounce. It might just be a short-term bounce before we do go and break through, but it's not lacking that momentum. It's lacking that momentum. Again, we do have NFP shortly, so maybe markets will be a bit stale right now, but they'll pick up momentum soon come, and then we can look at some big moves maybe this afternoon, and support can break. But at the moment, nothing really to report on just yet. Euro pound, I'm still looking at. Let me take a look at NASDAQ before I get to the rest of the crosses. So US 100, let me know what you're looking at for NAS, if there's any particular time frame you're looking at as well. But yeah, the analysis for NAS 100 is pretty simple at the moment. All we have really is a ranging market in the lower time frames. Market's completely flat. As we can see, equal highs, equal lows. Overall, the market is very bullish. Still seeing higher highs and higher lows, clear-cut trend to the upside. So naturally speaking, I do expect us just to break to the upside and just continue the trend. So nothing more, nothing less than that. However, in terms of actually trading that bias, that's what becomes a little bit more difficult, I would either wait to see a push back to the low end of the range. That will be a nice place to buy from. Number one, can get a much better entry close to the low. Number two, can get a much better stop loss just underneath these lows. And number three, you maximize your risk reward as well. At least trade it back to the high of the range or getting the 50%. And if things look good, you can always leave some positions to run in case we break out the range back to the all-time high and maybe higher as well. So overall, there's a lot of positives entering at that low. Not that you can't lose, but you're just logically speaking in a much better area to buy. Equally, if we do break to the upside and see a healthy break of the high here and look for some pullbacks, that could be a nice trade as well. At least at this point, you're confident that there's bullish momentum in the market. And now you're looking to trade that momentum and look for pullbacks off it, a retest of the high there, or even a retest of this side, depending how big the breakout is, could still provide some nice opportunities there as well. But either which way, looking for buys here for the NAS. So breaking retest of the high there, 21,800, or breaking retest of the low here. Well, not breaking retest, sorry, just a retest of the low here. Looks good. I mean, a breaking retest could also be nice as well if we do break confidently below. But then I would be careful of that because it might just be price breaking the low to flush out people before buying up again. But yeah, in terms of the buys, I like the low here, 2,800. I like the high there, 21,800 really. So yeah, waiting for price to do one or the other, and then we can look for some opportunities. But in terms of the overall trend, things are still very bullish. What's up, Jay Smith? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, indices to me are looking pretty bullish. Actually, not pretty bullish. I mean, in general, they're looking pretty bullish, but at the moment, actually pretty flat. Again, it might be a situation where we're just waiting for the NFP to come up. But even if there was an NFP, I would avoid trading it because, as I said, we're just about to move into resistance right now. And as soon as the New York session can open, you might have a bit of a sell-off. So I'd watch out for that. But yeah, pretty bullish there on NAS. Let me go take a look at Euro Pound and Aussie New Zealand dollar. And then I will go through my watch list and share what I'm looking at. Okay, so in terms of Euro Pound, I'm still looking for upside, but it's been difficult in terms of entries. Holy One, are you still looking to buy Euro Pound? I remember you mentioned Euro Pound buys earlier. You said I think you're looking for the gap to fill in some pullbacks. Is it still fitting your criteria? I do like some buys, but I didn't really play out how I wanted to do this week. I was looking for the retest of the high here, which we were retesting, we were holding, just didn't see the price action I wanted to. Then we broke through, which of course invalidated the setup. Now we're breaking back above, and now it looks like we're coming back for another retest, but it's not as clean as I want it to be. Generally speaking, it looks like price just respected this massive range here, kind of like a big area of demand where price is consolidated and had a really big move to the upside. I kind of respected that area. I don't really trade supply and demand. I focus on support resistance. So that's why my attention was more focused to that high there. However, price didn't really respect that. Maybe on this second attempt we do, but because it's not looking as clean, because in terms of a stop loss placement, I kind of need it to be below the low there. So if I do see the rejection, I'm going to be looking at pretty wide stop loss, which again isn't the worst case scenario, but it's just not looking as clean as I want it to be. And because there's other markets I'm looking at which look better, I think I'd just rather spend my time on other markets than Euro Pound. But just because I'm not going to trade doesn't mean I don't still expect to see upside. Again, we're still trading in massive resistance, massive support on the monthly chart. So naturally speaking, I'm still looking for a really big buy here. As we've seen previously, really big reactions at these levels. I do think we can see that happen again. However, in terms of the buys, we've got to be careful because Euro Pound still is in a pretty long-term bearish trend here. We haven't really done anything to change that. Even with this big move, it's kind of just continued with more lower highs. So maybe the bigger move is still to the downside for Euro Pound. We've got to be careful from that perspective. But buys do look good. and if we can hold into it, possibly could take us at least back to that high. We'll go from there. Maybe respect it, come back down. Maybe we break through and reverse. We'll wait and see. I think if we can push back into the low here, that could be a nice double bottom to look at. That way, at least you can refine your stop loss a little bit better. So stops below the low, entries there, and then take the trade. At least you're still very much within that area of demand where the buyers are situated. We had a lot of momentum from that area, so we could see something happen there again. But yeah, not as big of a fan of Euro pound as I was at the start of the week as I am now. Although the bias is still bullish, I'm not a big fan. Okay, not looking at Euro pound anymore. Indicators are not bullish anymore. I need really a high prices to confirm buyers in control. Okay, can't see that at the min. I did earlier in the week. Yeah, kind of same situation with me as well. Not really seeing that at the current moment in time as well for Euro pound. And that's the reality of trading as well. Some pairs will look good. You'll be looking to buy or sell. Things happen, things change in the space of 24 hours. It may not be a good opportunity anymore. And vice versa as well. So you'll be looking at opportunities. It might not look too good, but then 24 hours pass and it looks really good and it fits your criteria well. And you want to be looking to place some entries. And that's where the kind of flexibility and discretion comes into trading, especially if you have a discretionary system that can set you apart from other traders or set you back behind other traders as well. And yeah, I would agree. Euro pound's not really looking that good. Of course, we have different criteria, but even for me, it's not looking good there as well. In terms of Aussie New Zealand dollar, then I'll go through some of my pairs on the watch list. Yeah, this one's extremely flat. I mean, I know the overall direction I'm looking to play, which is still longs back into the high here. Market still forming higher highs and higher lows. So that pretty much sets the tone for me in terms of direction. However, in terms of entries, I've been looking for the retest of this low along with the trend line. This has very much been the plan with me for Aussie New Zealand dollar. However, failed to see the move down. I thought we were going to see it at one point. Things were looking pretty bearish a couple of weeks ago. I thought we were going to come back down, retest, and get the buy, but we didn't. We shot back to the upside. So I just don't really know what price is doing really right now. It's kind of still stuck in that consolidation, but it's not really doing anything. If we do break resistance here, because this is kind of the resistance that price held so well and didn't break through. If it does break through that, there could be some nice buys on top to take it back into the high. I think that could be a nice trade to look at as well if we don't get the bigger move. But either which way, this is the target for Aussie New Zealand dollar. Larger time frame structure. It's still pointing up. Where's the high? There we go. Still pointing up, still seeing higher highs and higher lows. So as long as that remains true, that keeps me in a very bullish bias for now. Got to rate analysis though, in any case, just price. Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of experience and a lot of chart hours to get to that point as well. But I use indicators as well. I use fib. I use moving averages from time to time as well. But I'm very much just looking for momentum. I'm looking for trends, and I'm looking for continuation of that trend as well. So in terms of what I'm looking for, it's pretty straightforward. I think the difficult part is just kind of sieving through and ignoring everything else, ignoring the distractions, ignoring the poor price action, not getting roped into taking poor quality trades. I think that's really the hardest part of trading. In terms of if you've been trading for a while and you know exactly what you're looking for, it's not that difficult to find the opportunity you're looking to trade, but it does become a bit difficult when you're seeing kind of half clear opportunities and get sucked in taking those trades. And yeah, that can get a little bit dodgy. So kind of finding the diamonds in the rough there. That's where the difficulty does lie. But I appreciate it, Hoduan. So yeah, in terms of the markets I'm looking at, silver looks very, very good. Really liking the price action of silver, taking out the highs, looking for this one to join what gold's doing. Really nice higher highs and higher lows, looking for the next higher low as we've taken out that high there. So now the plan is to ride it back to that high. If we can find another high low and respect this level here at 131.69, that to me looks like a really nice level to buy from. And at least again, a push back to the high. I'm not looking for the home run straight away, but it's nice to know that I'm trading in that direction. So if I do trail stops, which I will do, I know that I can always hold positions to run. And again, I will be looking for other entries as well. It's not just I'll be looking to trade from here and hold all the way up there. If price has another pullback, fits the criteria, I'm in another trade as well. So yeah, silver looks really, really good. I like the longs here. Dollar CAD looks really good to the downside as well. I'm liking the shorts with this one. Of course, two ideas I'm looking at, either the break out of the range here, then shorts below, or the retest of the high of the range. Either which way, really good opportunities there for dollar CAD. And again, where we're trading, we've respected massive, massive levels of resistance. One over there, second over there, and third over there as well. And if you look at the two prior times prices respected these areas, we have completely sold off really aggressively. So I do think we can see not necessarily a similar reaction, but at least a reaction which could be worthwhile trading. So I mean, kind of already had that, but I'm looking for continuation of that momentum. So pretty bearish here for dollar CAD. Of course, we'll see what happens with NFP. Things can change pretty quickly. But I am looking to short dollar CAD here, looking to buy silver, but I'm not going to get any entries before NFP anyway. So I'm very much going to be a spectator, see what happens, and then wait for things to settle down. And then by Saturday, we've got the week and the close. I can analyze there with a clear head and set the plan for next week. But most likely it will be to continue the shorts here for dollar CAD. Other USD pairs I'm not really interested in. Euro not really, pound not really, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar not really, dollar CHF no, gold I prefer silver, so I'm focused on that. In terms of the yen pairs, I'm looking for a lot of pullbacks for these yen pairs. There's quite a few I'm looking at, to be honest. They're all kind of very much the same idea. Actually, pound yen, I don't like that one as much. The ones I'm liking a lot more is euro yen. The pullback in euro yen looks really good. We've got the prior highs here, 1, 2, 3. Looking for number 4 for a big sell. So I like euro yen here to the downside. Of course, it's coming off some really big support here in the daily charts. I'm not interested in shorting just yet, but if we can see a pullback, I'll be happy to take some sells. I also like CHF JPY as well. Really consistent, lower lows and lower highs. We've broken through some lows. I know this one's trading at support or near support anyway. I mean, this is the level I'm expecting price to get to. There you go. But the plan is to find the next lower high. We've got double top over there. And since then, we've been forming lower high after lower high after lower high. And it's my job to try and find the next one. So looking for that as well. And the other yen pair, which I like, is dollar yen. Now, like I said, this one isn't quite confirmed yet in terms of the bigger move because we're still respecting these prior lows here, which gave us the high. So technically speaking, we could still push to the upside at any point. But what we do have is some really confident bearish structure at the moment. Still seeing lower lows and lower highs. And we did break through my bullish area of confluence, which is where I said I wanted to go long from. So because that's invalidated, I don't really have a buy setup at the moment for dollar yen. So I can look for some sells. I just have to be a bit careful as we come into these lows because we could see a pretty big reaction. But I retested this area, looks really good. Really nice support, broke through a lot of momentum, never had the retest. So that to me looks like a fresh level of resistance, a level likely to react. And if I can swing it back into the lows, that'd be a great trade. And we'll go from there. So dollar yen shorts, euro yen shorts and Swiss yen shorts look good. Pound yen looks okay. But I think I'd rather take these ones than and then to be fair, Aussie yen and New Zealand yen, they could find themselves on the watch list pretty quickly as well. They should have to give me a decent breakout, to be honest. Which looks like they're trying to do. They're teasing, but not really seeing the momentum I'm looking for just yet. So being patient with those. In terms of the crosses, CAD pairs I'm not really interested in, to be honest. Crosses euro pound, not anymore. Aussie New Zealand dollar, yes, but it's going to take a while before that setup does play out. And CHF pairs, not really set up yet. I still do like pound CHF on the breakout, but again, still very much trading in the middle of the range. So just nothing really going on there until we get the breakout. But the yen pairs and the yen pairs and the USD pairs, all these dollar CAD and silver, look really good for next week. Okay, yeah. Leading to two moving averages, be less profitable about them. Yeah, that's because you found your edge with those. With me, I'm focused on chart patterns, so I found my edge with those patterns because I'm not necessarily making up things as I go along. It's like, okay, that looks like a nice sell, that looks like a nice buy. There's consistency to my trading because I'm looking for particular patterns in the market, and I'm finding edge with those patterns. Um, the only thing about looking for chart patterns that it's discretionary and they don't always look the same. As with kind of any kind of trading edge that's based on technical analysis, of course, with indicators, it's black and white. It's either the indicators are giving you a signal or not. With chart patterns, it's black and white to a degree, although patterns will look different, different sizes, different areas. So there needs to be an understanding from that regard. But with my trading, I'm looking for patterns. I'm analyzing trend, I'm analyzing direction, but I'm looking for patterns in terms of my trading opportunities. So that's kind of my edge and why I look to focus on. But as we've said a million times, there's different ways to trade. There's different ways to trade. It's all about finding consistency and becoming very, very good at doing the simple things. But yeah, guys, we have approached the end of the stream. If you have found it useful, please be sure to smash the like button. It does really help out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you're enjoying the content, finding it useful, informative, entertaining, anything positive, anything remotely positive. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. But I do appreciate all the love you guys have shown recently. Yeah, I really do appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys are finding the streams useful. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any uploads in the future. Make sure you check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link in the description below. Also at the top of the chat, you can find a lot more information about Elevating Traders on the Discord, so go check it out. And of course, you can join discussions, chat with other traders, including myself. I share ideas there. Other people do as well. So if you're interested, check it out. You can share your setups that you're looking at too and see what other people are looking to trade. But guys, have a fantastic Friday. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Have a good weekend as well. Of course, on Saturday, I'll be uploading the weekly analysis. So if you want to see my insights and see what I'm looking to do next week, make sure you keep an eye out for that video. But guys, appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.